So I think I'm making this video as much for myself as anybody else. I'm autistic and I have body dysmorphia. The body dysmorphia has been well known since I was about 14 and I'm 32 now. And the autism turned up at 31, but obviously I've been there the whole time. And I really want to start a channel where I talk about being autistic and that experience and what it's like living in this brain all of the time. But since I've started trying to do it, I have noticed such a dip in my mental health already. Like, having to be faced with yourself is quite jarring, especially for someone that has body dysmorphia. Just a strange light can completely derail how I perceive myself. And I think obviously body dysmorphia in itself is absolutely horrendous, but I think when you combine it with autism and our kind of black and white thinking, I can quite easily convince myself that I am a genuine monster. And right now, like, this is an okay light. This has taken me, I've been getting ready for like 2 hours just to sit in front of a camera and talk. And it's taken nearly crying because I saw an angle that I didn't like and I don't know what I look like. That's the really strange thing about body dysmorphia. You don't have a sausage what you actually look like. So all I can do is ask other people or just kind of find the angle that I like and then try and internalize that as like the version of me that I think exists. But I don't know if that's even true. Because sometimes I can look at a picture or a video footage from the past or whatever. At the time, I'll be like, oh my God, that person is absolutely hideous. Like, how dare you have the audacity to even put yourself out there? But then I could look back on it 6 months later and be like, oh, that's a nice picture. So it's really insidious because you don't know where you stand ever. And I'm a feminist, so there's part of me that's like, sod all the beauty standards. I don't care about this stuff. There's way more important things to be thinking about right now, absolutely right now. So why is this so prevalent in my brain? Why do I care so much? And that's another question I've been kind of toying over. And I do think as you start unmasking as an autistic person, I think you start looking at why you did things to mask and what parts of you are the masking and what parts of you are just who you are fundamentally. And I societally have learned that to look like this is safer, to go out in public and feel more socially accepted. If I don't wear a full face of makeup and have my hair curly and stuff, I don't feel comfortable socializing in the world. And as a neurodiversity specializing coach counsellor who talks to people about unmasking, it's still the final frontier for me as well, never mind for other people that are just getting started out. So yeah, I think this wasn't really anything. This was just more of a seeing if anyone else had similar feelings to me. I'm just interested to see if this is a common autistic female particularly experience or whether I'm just a vain asshole. Hopefully not. But yeah, where do you start unraveling it and how do you get over sod it, like, this is how I look? I'm gonna like record from different angles so you can see the difference in lighting, because I don't know whether, again, like, my autistic brain kind of takes things as like verbatim, like the absolute truth. So if I see someone on YouTube who looks really good and all of their little bits of footage, they may have been doing that for years and they know all the angles to do and they've retaken it like 20 times as well. But I'm only seeing the last bit. So to me, they just woke up gorgeous. Like, everything is sunshine and rainbows for them all the time. Like, how much of it is truth? And I can't find anyone talking about this. So I had a look online. I was like, how do people with body dysmorphia do vlogs and, you know, put themselves out there on social media? Because I don't want this vessel to stop me from talking about things. Like, I'm a writer. I like kind of sharing my experience, and I think it's really important. You know, I'm an autistic person with body dysmorphia, OCD, I'm sober. It's a very niche but important kind of unheard perspective, and if it can help people, then that's really important. Because I remember when I was about 17, 18, I got derealization for the first time, like really intensely, and I thought I'd gone completely mad. I was genuinely like thinking of unaliving myself, because I didn't know how to cope with that feeling. I thought I'd just gone bonkers, and if I told anyone, then they would just cart me off and that would be the end of me. But on YouTube, interestingly enough, I found someone talking just completely by happenstance about their anxiety and how it got so bad that they ended up having derealization as well. And they described what I was going through, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what's happening to me. Like, I'm not completely insane. Like, my life isn't over. And whilst my day-to-day experience might not be quite as impactful as that video was, I still think it's really important to share experiences, especially going from somebody who was working in a corporate environment for 10 years, was drinking really heavily, was massively not happy about herself, was misdiagnosed with borderline because I was just chasing men to feel better about myself, because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. We all watched the Disney films, we all thought, okay, that's how we do this. And then I've come to being this kind of, I can take it or leave it when it comes to relationships. I finally got enough self-esteem to know that I don't need to be with somebody, which has been a massive change. And I've gone from someone who had to drink to socialise in any way, shape or form, to somebody that literally talks to people for a living, or is at least trying to build that up. And how amazing is that? Like, I'm wouldn't say boo to a goose kind of person unless I know you really well, and then I don't shut up, and I'm quite verbose and I'm quite large and sometimes funny, hopefully. So yeah, and I wouldn't have gotten to this place if it wasn't for all of the other autistic creators that I watch, who have normalized a lot of my behaviors to me and have taken the shame out of it. Like, sharing stuff takes away the shame. That's why things like AA exist, and so, you know, it's a bit of a cult, but the kind of premise of it makes sense. If you share with people what you're going through, it's like hearing people in different accents just explaining what's going on in your brain. So I'm trying really hard not to let this nonsense in my brain take over and ruin what could be something really helpful for people. So we shall see. I'm just putting this one out there today. Please tell me if you've had any similar experiences to this. I'm going to show you now the different angles that have been messing with my head. And yeah. So before, this was an angle that I could not tolerate, mainly because I've got this bit of sagging going on because I am fastly approaching 33. But this was enough before for me to be fronted with this and then go into the bathroom and have to not ruin my makeup by crying and just dab away, which I know is ridiculous. And while we're here, another thing I was thinking about is a lot of this is internalized ableism as well. I don't know if you've noticed, you probably will have, but I do a lot of like stims with my mouth. Like, I don't realize that I'm doing it. I do this weird thing where I kind of like, I can't do it without, like, it just happens. But when I see it back, I'm like, ugh, like that's a weird thing to do. That looks strange. Like, people don't do that. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, oh God, imagine an autistic person who stims, looking like an autistic person who stims. Whoa, shocker. So again, like, there's so much for me to unpack and work on within myself. And I think working with other autistic people as well and going through this journey, because I work predominantly with women in their early 30s as well. It's such an interesting path of what is going on and how do you navigate it without losing your mind and working out who you actually are fundamentally underneath all of the conditioning that you've kind of done to yourself and you've had done subliminally by society. But anyway, I've done my few minutes of posting in this area. I don't know if it actually does look any different to anyone. I don't really want any feedback either way. I'm not fishing. But I just wanted to share like how impactful it can be for something that's so frivolous. And at the end of the day, I am going to get older. Like, that's fine. I'm 33 nearly. I watch influencers, unfortunately, who are like 25, and I look up to them and I'm like, oh, you're so confident in yourself. I'm like, I'm 7 years older than those people. So they're not supposed to be my role models anymore. There's a lot more that I could talk about. I think the pipeline as well of a lot of autistic women don't want to have children. And I think that puts you on another path to a lot of your peers and your friends, because I still feel like a 14-year-old. I think since I got diagnosed, I've regressed back to 14, 15-year-old me. And to see that, to kind of feel that in your brain and then see someone in their early 30s, getting towards mid-30s, is really kind of destabilizing, because I'm now like, oh, I understand that version of me now from when I was 15. And then I look in the mirror and she's not there anymore. And I'm like, oh God, there's been these decades of nightmare life in between. But I'm rambling now. I think these are all kind of videos that I could do separately. But yeah, if anyone relates to this experience, please let me know. And I will see you soon.